No one wins with money until they decide they don't care what other people think.
Here are 3 ways to have financial discipline.
I started looking at every single purchase as hours of my life.
Yeah. So last video we went over people making some pretty bad financial decisions, and today I thought we would take a look at the other end of the spectrum and look at some good financial decisions people are making. We have a ton of different examples to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos, so if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with one we've seen recently on this channel when it comes to home ownership.
If there is one thing that I've learned about home ownership is I don't understand how people live above their means. We've had our home for 2 years, our AC just broke, our house got struck by lightning, and the entire electrical on the left side of our house blew, the washer broke, the dryer broke, everything has broken in our home. And thank God, me and my husband we bought within our means, our cars are within our means, and we budget. I can't stress enough. Pay yourself first, always put something into savings. And when you're going to buy a home, make sure you have more than just the down payment. Within your first year, things are going to break. Things are going to need to be upgraded. Just make sure you're prepared, because it's in the middle of the summer. We're about to have 90-degree days for the next 3 months. If me and my husband didn't financially prepare for potential things to break, we would have been.
I mean, how many different times have we seen examples like this? Magically, as soon as you sign on the dotted line to purchase the home, everything falls apart. So if you're one of the people who are struggling getting FHA loans, only being able to put 3% down because that's all you had, these kind of problems could absolutely ruin you financially. On top of any of the ads that I've also seen from like Rocket Mortgage putting 1, 2, or 3% down, or no money down on a house at all. Just sounds like a recipe for disaster. But we could take a look at the comments. The amount of money I spend fixing things is insane, and why is it always at least $5,000 to fix anything? As a realtor, I would always tell my first-time buyers that owning a home is never just being able to pay the mortgage, and then I'd give them my speech about not wanting to be house poor and not maxing out their approval. I guess there are many homeowners that didn't get that speech or didn't take that advice, because there are full dedicated videos on this channel showing many examples of people being house poor. For these exact same examples, things start breaking down and they cost thousands of dollars at a time. So we have another clip up on screen with a trend asking people their best financial decisions they've ever made. And basically half of the answers in the comment section is a prime example of why people are not marrying and not having children anymore. Staying single, not having kids, filing for divorce. Then we finally have one saying living beneath my means with older paid off cars and no stress. Buying a house in 2008, probably one of the worst times, but if you got through it, most likely the house has appreciated significantly since. 2-income family here, we decided to live off one income and invest and save the other spouse's income. I mean, if you have the opportunity to do that, one single income, paying for an entire family, clearly you're going to be very far ahead. Staying single, not having kids, again. If you ever have a property, don't put it in your name, put it in someone in the family's name. Therefore, if you get divorced, it is no longer marital property. So along with that, I asked you guys the same exact question. What's your best financial decision you've made? Opening and funding a Roth IRA at 18 years old, going to community college and transitioning to a 4-year. 2 degrees that I paid 0 thanks to merit scholarships. And I mean, you are so much farther financially ahead than so many people right now just not being in student debt, that even without the scholarship, saving the 2 years going to community college will honestly help you so much more down the road. Paid $5,000 for a pickup truck in cash. I mean, that's very difficult to find at least something reliable, but somebody did. Moving cities to reduce my cost of living, started an IRA as a sophomore in college, avoiding advice from YouTubers with epic music in their videos. More often than not, they're fully delusional. That turns into a lot of the finance people making it look like they got a whole ton of money. They know everything and they could teach you with just a simple payment of $1,000 for some course, and before you know it, you basically learned nothing and you're out a whole ton of money. Going to a state university instead of elsewhere, another scholarship for $62,000. I mean, there are so many out-of-state colleges that are just absolutely brutal. Paying off my student loans during the COVID interest pause. I feel like a lot of people wish they did that, especially right now with the interest payments coming back. But we have another one here that's kind of a two-parter that gets so many people in this day and age.
I used to buy things to impress people, like some designer clothes, some fancy gadgets, stuff I really didn't need. The truth, nobody cares. Now I only spend on what I actually value, and I invest the rest. Stopped flexing and started growing my money. And you know what? Never felt more confident. And you better believe if I have kids, I'm going to be instilling that in them. Looking rich keeps you broke. Acting rich builds wealth.
So with flexing on others for validation, one of the biggest ones is of course the vehicle. So we'll just go right into the next part.
A high-end Toyota is a nicer car than an entry-level BMW because a high-end Toyota is filled with things that make you happy. Nice seats, a good sound system. The entry-level BMW is just bragging rights. You should go through life wanting the proverbial high-end Toyota. It's not showing off for others, it's making you happy rather than just trying to put up your peacock feathers to show off to people.
I don't know how many times I've trashed on the CLA 250 and the GLA. Those are the same entry-level Mercedes-Benz that you're just paying for the badge on the front and back of the car. There's nothing special about them, even though they're way more expensive than they should be. But we could take a look at what people say in the comment section. No Toyota's making me happy. Showing off makes me happy. I don't care what he's saying. Nothing beats pulling up in a Mercedes. An entry-level BMW has most of the stuff the high-end Toyota has and a better engine. I like the reply source, just trust me, bro. Also, Toyotas are typically more reliable. I mean, I'm not trying to say that nobody's ever supposed to buy a luxury car. If you genuinely have that money, that's completely fine. Go buy whatever you want. I probably wouldn't end up buying the base model, a higher trim, which would cost more money, let alone any of the maintenance that goes along with it. But there are so many people who just want the badge, even if it's not that nice inside. I can't remember what video it was, but somebody went through the interior of a BMW X3 that starts at $50,000 and everything was just made of terrible plastic that was loose. He was touching stuff and everything was just wiggling around. It wasn't even put together nicely, but clearly it's something that's still profitable for the manufacturers because look at that comment section. Everybody was so mad. And we have a clip up on screen right now. I may be blue collar, but I'm not financing a $70,000 truck blue collar. I mean, honestly, how many times have you driven by construction sites where everybody has some F-250 diesel and a good portion of them are not hauling anything whatsoever. They're just driving to and from work, but it's a blue collar job. Everybody has some big truck and $70,000 for it is pretty accurate right now. It could even get way more expensive. We've seen six figures. We have a comment from one of you guys that is a very good financial decision along with just beating an addiction in general. Currently 8 months clean of my very bad sports gambling addiction. Very happy about that because it is not taken seriously whatsoever. You go on ESPN, any sports website, YouTubers as well, and they're all sponsored by DraftKings and FanDuel, and it's okay to bet on every little thing, not even just who's going to win. That's when the really bad addictions can start and completely ruin your entire life, not even just finances.
Here are 3 ways to have financial discipline. Number 1, which is by far the most important and easiest thing that you can do, is to pay yourself first. If you do this, you get your paycheck into your direct deposit and you set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts every single month and treat it like a bill, there's no question you automatically have better financial discipline because you don't have that money to then spend the rest of the month. So if you're prioritizing paying yourself first, this is by far step number 1 and the best step there is. Number 2 is to track every dollar. I know people don't want to hear this. They're like, I don't want to do a budget. I don't want to do all this. I'm not even telling you to do a budget at this point. I'm literally just telling you to track your spending. All right, number 3 is to delay gratification. All right, there's so much psychology with this because a lot of us do impulse buying. They see something we like, we buy it right away. I want you to, let's say, create a notes app on your phone and all right, this thing just came on sale and you're like, oh, I really want this. A week later, you go back to look at that list and you're like, oh, wow, I forgot I really wanted that.
I think putting the impulse purchases in your notes on your phone is very important. And the other one with tracking your finances, I know a whole bunch of people don't want to pull up an Excel spreadsheet every single time they buy something. It seems really annoying, but almost nobody walks around and pays everything in cash nowadays. So whether you have a debit or a credit card, it doesn't really matter. Every one of these banks have an app on your phone that will track every one of your transactions. I mean, some of them will also put the purchases into different categories and pie charts. You could see exactly what you're spending. So it doesn't have to be this elaborate plan that you got to go on the computer and type stuff up every single time. Now, I just wanted to highlight this comment section because when it comes to finances in general, good decisions, bad decisions, if it's about money on social media, there's going to be a whole bunch of scams out there, whether it's the gurus or comments like this from bot accounts. Funny enough, these were 3 different bots with 3 different gurus that they're trying to shill. Isaac Nelson's gap fill method worked 88% of the time. Their scanner finds the best setups. The only reason I'm up 120% year to date is Liam Parker's sector strategy. Their analysis is pure gold. I mean, all of this crap, but you're going to start seeing this kind of stuff all the time if you look up stuff financially online. So just be wary about that. But we have another comment from you guys. We saved all of our $4,000 of our tax return and put it straight into our savings for a down payment for a home. We have $45,000 saved up, and that's a lot better than what we saw this past tax season. Tons of people going to Disney and vacations and down payments on cars they don't really need and just blowing the money that was theirs initially. People treat it like the government is just giving them free checks. That was your money to begin with. The government just took too much and finally gave it back.
Here is your reminder as financially responsible ladies. Call your phone bill, call your internet company, and just tell them your bill has gotten too high. Let me see if I can pull up the little script I used. ChatGPT wrote it for me. Hey there, I'm reviewing my monthly expenses. I noticed my Xfinity bill has gotten a bit high. I'm hoping you can help me look into ways to lower it. Whether that's a promotion, removing services I'm not using, or see if I qualify for a loyalty discount. I've been a member, or I've been a customer for 2.5 years. What can we do? I literally got my bill lowered by $50 a month just by calling and asking. They didn't ask like any follow-up questions. They were like, yep, here's a promotion that we're running right now. So go save yourself some money. Go do this. I feel a little dumb for not doing it sooner, but that's okay because it's better than not having done it at all.
So of course this isn't going to work out 100% of the time, but I think one of the big ones that especially over the past couple of years has gotten ridiculously expensive is car insurance. Doing basically exactly what she said. Just call up and go, this is way too expensive. I need to cancel this, but I'm going to go to somebody else. They're going to try everything in their power to keep you with their company, so they're probably going to lower the bill. And I mean, you could do this for a lot of your bills. So you can look at some of the comments, do this for everything, your credit card interest rates too. The faster hack is to tell them that it's too expensive, so you're canceling, and they'll always give you a new customer deal. Went from $118 to $50. That's kind of what I said. I recently got my internet bill lowered from $85 down to $40. I mean, that's more than half. That's actually a pretty good deal. I should try that. We have another comment from you guys as well. Haven't been to a restaurant in about 4 years. I know the avocado toast is a meme, but making your own food really does save you thousands per year. We also have a set of screenshots that go along with this. Unpopular financial opinions that I have as a girl in her 20s. Hair salons are a scam. You can't convince me to pay $90 just to get a trim. God forbid you want highlights. That could go for guys as well. Some of the barbershops were charging like $50 for a trim that would take 10 minutes. Just absolutely unbelievable prices. But any of the highlights are things that would take a long time. If you're in the hair salon, you're going to be paying hundreds. You don't need an outfit for every occasion. Don't allow consumerism and social media to convince you otherwise. Getting your nails done is a waste of money. Social media has conditioned women to feel the need to always have their nails done. If you get your nails done every 2 weeks from 18 to 40, you would have spent $52,000. I don't know if anybody's also seen something similar on TikTok recently where many people are doing their own nails, their press-on nails, a lot of kits you could get online that are much cheaper than going there. And now there are a whole bunch of nail salon TikTokers that are just crashing out, getting super mad at people for doing it themselves because they don't want to spend $100, $150 on their nails. So that overall I think is pretty funny, but the next two screenshots from two different people actually talk about the exact opposite. Credit card companies prey on middle and lower class, and I agree with that, but I get all these perks. It's such a benefit to have a credit card. The only person benefiting from you having a credit card is the company. How do you think these credit card companies have become multi-billion-dollar institutions? Now, I think that this is good advice for somebody who does have a spending problem. If you don't have the discipline and you see that you have a $5,000 or $10,000 credit limit, probably not the best idea to use credit cards, even if you get the points or the miles or cash back, whatever. But if you do have that kind of discipline, because I've talked about, I use credit cards all the time. We could see this screenshot. I stopped using my debit card for everything. I switched to credit cards with cash back and rewards and pay them off in full monthly. That should be highlighted. You absolutely need to pay them off. If you don't have any problems with doing that, then you're actually going to reap the rewards instead of just paying the 20 or 30% interest rate. But we'll go over to the last screenshot that definitely ruffled feathers. Buying books. The public library system in the US is top tier, providing every single book and resource you could think of for free. I'll promise you'll read It Ends With Us once and you'll have it on your shelf for years. And we could go right to the comment section. There's something so special about owning a book, but I do do agree that the libraries are awesome and most books could be borrowed from there. Everything but the books. Totally agree with all except buying books. Why are we buying books? Go to the library. The buying books one literally slapped me in the face. There are tons and tons of comments. And I mean, if you like it, then whatever. I think it starts getting too far when you buy a book and then there's a special edition with a different cover, and then there's another one that comes out with a nice design on the pages. Then there's another edition that has the entire series in one big stack that all match together, so you gotta buy them all. And then before you know it, you are spending hundreds of dollars on just basically a single series. But we could go over to a trend of people actually saving money because of their library card.
How long have you had your library card?
I think about 7 years.
Okay. How much money do you think you've saved with your library card?
$500?
Okay, turn around.
Holy cow!
How much money do you think you've saved with your library card?
I'm gonna say 10,000.
Okay, take a look. How much money do you think you've saved with your library card?
16,000.
16,000. Turn it around.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, no, that tracks. That feels right. We love Libby.
We do love Libby. How long have you had your library card?
Since 2002.
Okay, and how much money do you think you've saved with your library card?
I'm gonna say 150,000.
Okay. Turn it around.
Okay, well, I did boost a little bit, but still, look at that!
I mean, that one you were talking more than 20 years, but still you're hitting almost 6 figures. That one is pretty crazy to me. And we have another comment from one of you guys. Buy stuff that will provide utility. Took me until my late 20s to understand this. Don't buy for the high, buy for a purpose, because there are certain items that are very expensive, but it's for the purpose. It actually works. It's not some random luxury item that you're paying for the name or the logo on whatever you're purchasing. It's something that will actually last. And I know that's becoming harder and harder to find in this day and age, with companies making things that will purposely break after a few years, so you're going to have to buy another item from them, and increasing their reoccurring customers, as awful as it sounds. But having this kind of mindset along with the next example will definitely help you out.
I started looking at every single purchase as hours of my life.
Yeah.
But that caused me to not want anything, because I would look at like a Starbucks coffee and I'd say, I have to exchange 45 minutes of my life after tax to go and buy one coffee. And that coffee might last me 30 minutes. So I'm spending 45 minutes for 30 minutes. That's a bad deal. But maybe I could buy a pair of shoes for 1 hour of my life and I get those shoes for a year. That seems like a pretty good trade-off.
If there was some way to substitute all price tags for the amount of hours you would have to work at whatever kind of job you have, your boring 9-to-5 that you most likely don't like, and seeing this thing you want to purchase would take your entire day's worth of work, or maybe a week or month, I feel like there would be a lot less impulse buying as a whole.
Here are 3 things you can't afford anymore because you're an adult now. First, your financial ignorance. You don't know what you earn and you don't know what you spend. You can't afford to be that way anymore. Next, your bad money habits. You and money don't get along. Money tries to get away from you as quickly as possible because you have bad money habits. You can't afford to be that way anymore. Finally, your fear of investing. You don't invest aggressively because you're scared. Just like you were scared when you started to drive. You got over that, get over this too. You can't afford to be scared anymore.
Now, investing will come up a couple more times in this video. I understand that there are many people who are worried about investing in the stock market right now. The economy is pretty shaky. There are news articles that come out every single day of some other crazy story. Along with that, at the time of uploading this video, stock markets are at almost all-time highs. So there'll be even more people that don't want to invest at the top. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but the first part, not actually knowing how much money you make or what's going out, is something way more common than I thought. We saw a lot of different clips online of exactly that. They don't even know how much they're getting in their paychecks, how much is being taken out every month for bills. I guess they're just winging it and hoping that they're not going into debt. That sounds insane to me. Up next, we have an example of something that I don't see people talk about too often either.
Here's 3 things you didn't know you could buy with an HSA. And if you don't know what an HSA is, it's a health savings account. It's just a savings account that allows you to put in money tax-free. The money can then grow tax-free, and you can withdraw it tax-free for qualified medical expenses. Let's get into it. First shocker, the Oura Ring. Now, usually fitness trackers are not covered by your HSA unless you have a medical letter, but for some reason, the Oura Ring makes the cut. So it can track your heart rate, your sleep, and more. All right, this next one's for all the parents out there with kids. If you have kids that are into athletic stuff and they need bandages and braces and mouth guards and tape, you can have this covered by your HSA. It even includes sunscreen if the SPF is 15 or higher, so stay away from those tanning oils. And lastly, medicine. This one might seem obvious, but use your HSA for things like cough medicine, cough syrup, cold medicine. Most over-the-counter meds will be covered. And bonus tip, you can use your HSA to invest and harness the power of compound growth. Once you hit a threshold, usually of $1,000, any money beyond that, you can invest into the stock market to take advantage of some sweet, sweet tax-free growth.
So there is a lot more that you could buy on top of what he talked about in that clip, but especially the over-the-counter medicine. I feel like everybody has some in their house, and if there's any way to legally avoid taxes, I am all for it.
Open up your phone right now. Delete Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. You do not need any buy now, pay later apps. This is destroying your budget and it's going to keep you broke.
That one's just short and sweet. You knew it was coming in this video. We've talked about it for months and months, the entire saga of seeing examples of people online paying for vacations with these kinds of apps. Then more data coming out that people aren't paying back those loans. On top of it, this will start showing up on your credit score. I've also seen people getting sued by Klarna as well. It is just an absolute mess. I don't really have to tell you. I feel like I've gone over it a million times. We have another comment from you guys too. Selling my car that I owed $50,000 on to buy one that's less than half that sucks but was totally worth it. The ego hit was the biggest hurdle in my journey to being debt free. I mean, going back to that previous clip with the vehicles, the ego of driving around a BMW or a Mercedes, whatever kind of vehicle that they had that was obviously way out of their price range. Unfortunately, some people can't get over that they really can't afford that luxury item even though they really want it, and it will really hurt them financially in the long run.
If you just had $10,000 invested from 1988 until 2023, that $10,000 had turned into almost $420,000.
But what happens if you miss 5, 10, 30, and even 50 days?
If all you did was miss the 5 best performing market days from 1988 until 2023, rather than that 10,000 turning into 420, that 10,000 only turns into about $264,000.
Gutted it with 5 days.
So this is what I wanted to add on, talking about investing earlier in the video. You cannot look at any of these videos online of people 10xing their money from options trading, meme coins, anything like that. If you want to genuinely start investing in the stock market, it has to be a very long-term investment. You can't invest your money and then within a week maybe it goes down a little bit. You freak out and pull all your money out. This has to be years, decades down the road. And I know so many people don't want that. Everything needs to be now, now, now. I get some people just don't want to invest in the stock market at all. But if you do want to, just know that you need to be in it for the long haul. We have another comment from one of you guys. As someone who's 17 and grew up with a family that was always working and having no money due to not being good with finances, thank you for making these videos and giving me financial advice. Well, I do want to add in again, like when we saw all of the bot comments under that random video, that even with the unbelievable amount of free information that we all have because of social media, the internet as a whole, you do still need to be wary of some people giving financial advice, because there are so many who will just try to funnel you into some sort of course mastermind. I mean, they have a million different grifts. But once you start weeding that kind of stuff out, you could really learn almost anything you want online. We have another set of screenshots, 3 financial decisions I wish I made sooner, another person opening up a Roth IRA, building an emergency fund, and the last one I like, realize that you don't need to invest in real estate to build wealth. I'm in the process of selling my duplex. Real estate is not as great as it's sought out to be. Do your research before investing in rentals. And as I've said to you guys a couple times, I know if you really know what you're doing in real estate, there are so many people who have made millions off of it, but I genuinely just don't really like real estate. I don't want to be a landlord or a house flipper or anything like that. And there are countless clips online of people just trying to push everyone into that kind of niche. So I like somebody saying that this isn't something that you absolutely have to do just because you constantly hear about it online.
Here's 60 seconds of brutally honest money advice I'd give my best friend if I weren't afraid of hurting her feelings. 1, you need to stop making excuses for your shitty spending habits. You're busy, so am I. You want convenience? Me too. But tell me, how is waiting 10 minutes in the Starbucks drive-thru on the way to work more convenient than taking 5 minutes to make it at home? You take the time to scroll through Uber Eats and spend $30 on delivery that's going to take 45 minutes to arrive and be lukewarm by the time it gets here, but you don't have the foresight to buy a frozen pizza to have on hand that will be less work, taste better, and honestly probably be better for you. Stop lying to yourself. 2, I get it. You don't want to face the music and actually look at your spending because you're ashamed and overwhelmed. Tough luck. do it anyway. How in the world are you going to actually change your spending habits if you don't know what your habits are to begin with? That'd be like me telling Google Maps, route me to New York, but not enabling location services, so it has no idea where I'm starting from, which means it can't get me to New York. You need to know where you're starting from if you want to make a plan to start saving and building wealth. Again, stop making excuses. 3, here's the kicker. You want to know why you're spending mindlessly and buying a bunch of crap impulsively? It's because you low-key hate yourself and think that the next mug, the next cute sweater, the next mindset coaching program, the next sweet treat is going to be that thing that makes your life bearable. And it will for a few minutes or an hour or maybe even a few days. But that hit of dopamine will wear off and you'll start searching for the next thing to fill that void.
And the cycle will continue forever because you'll get notifications 24/7 on your phone for the new product or this or that's on sale, constantly scrolling on Amazon or Etsy, wanting this, wanting that, and just draining your bank account all the time. Never understood ordering Uber Eats. Having a stranger pick it up and deliver it lukewarm is so weird to me. Cutting out the food delivery was monumental for my finances. I just don't even want to have the social interaction for somebody delivering my food, let alone the ridiculous price.
The Navy Federal personal loan was at $37,000, but is now, wow, $2,657. What after the show made you just put so much fire under it?
I finally took a look at the daily interest accrual, and I realized, holy shit, I'm paying $800 in interest on just one account.
Yeah.
And honestly, after the show, I was depressed.
Really?
I didn't get out of bed for like 2 days. I even was gonna send back the Venmo to be like, please don't air my episode.
Really?
Yes. And then the episode came out and I had my friends watch it. I was like, tell me, am I getting lit up in the comments? And they were like, actually, no. A lot of the people were like really positive. And I was like, well, if all these internet strangers see potential in me, then I can't let them down. So
that's great.
So this is one of the follow-up episodes that is actually positive. Someone genuinely paying off their debt. I mean, $37,000 down to under $3,000. The interest of $800 alone on one account is insane. Huge improvement. It's basically over. Great job. Seeing the lifetime interest accrual on a credit card had made me cry. I mean, I'd probably cry too if I saw $800 a month disappear for basically no reason. But we're going to finish off this video with a little bit of de-influencing.
Let me spend the next 60 seconds de-influencing you as someone who is lower income but pretty darn financially healthy and happy with her life. I rent a 2-bedroom apartment with my husband. It is okay to rent instead of own. I have never bought a single item from Aritzia or even Abercrombie for that matter. Most people can't afford getting a $7 iced coffee and a $15 salad every day. It's okay to work an hourly job without a 401k. I have only ever worked hourly jobs with no 401k. You should, however, learn what a Roth IRA is and how to leverage one. I have lots of videos on this if you want to check those out. Most people make less than 100k. I'm not saying this is good or it's the way things should be, but hopefully that will make you feel less alone. Most people need to consciously think about their spending on a daily basis. Even though I'm telling you all these things right now, I sometimes struggle with spending myself because that is what it means to be a human in 2025. You are constantly bombarded with advertisements.
And unfortunately, the advertisements are only getting worse. Everything's a subscription now that also comes with ads. So you're getting your bank account drained monthly by subscriptions you don't even remember, and then hit with targeted ads on those same services, on any of the social media sites we use, on our phone, computer, whatever. It's just really getting to be too much. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.